episode 13 or 14. Key theme today is a quote from Steve Jobs, and I'm going to paraphrase it rather than actually quote it. And the thing he said is that if there's one thing you can do if you want to have a advantage, is to look at life as something that is completely, everything's up in the air for discussion. And you don't have to do things the way that you're told to do them. You don't have to do it that way. In fact, if you look at it as if, you know what, people who've created the world, reality is just what people have created as the rules, and they're no smarter than you. Those people, they're no smarter than you, but they've created a rules. And if you question everything and you look at it as if you keep pushing at it, keep pushing, squeezing at it, something will pop out on the other end. And that's really the whole theme of game, just learning game, which is, you know, there's a groupthink, a lot of groupthinks, and you can choose which ones you want to subscribe to. The groupthink, which is about limit, you know, stay in your box, this is who you are, I don't subscribe to it. And yesterday it was very hard to do my 3 approaches. I was tired and it was getting late. Then I told myself, this is what I do, and I almost got a make out. It was during my break at work as well. So I flipped it on its head, pretty much. And it's funny to think that you think you can't even walk up to somebody because you're a weirdo for doing it, and then the next moment you're almost making out with somebody in like a minute, right? So I really do relate to those words of wisdom from Steve Jobs. Yesterday, have to admit, didn't do the 3 hours writing, and the reason for it is that I've been ridiculously sleep deprived, and I've had to nip in the bud my cycle of going to bed late and waking up, later than I would like to. But I've tried it, not getting sleep and trying to catch up, but I've worked out I do need my sleep. Once I have my sleep, I'm on fire. Without it, I have an issue. So that's been good to know, to learn that. I've always been a perfectionist, and it's a common ailment, and I didn't want to miss out on even one thing in my challenge. Although over this 21 days, there's been 1 or 2 things that I haven't done perfectly. It is what it is, but overall, it's been going well. But for me, 3 hours of writing, leaving out a whole day, was not acceptable. But then I realized, what's the point of me writing for 3 hours if I'm literally falling asleep as I'm looking at the page? It's not going to be productive. It's not going to really do anything of any good quality. So I'm back on a new cycle, and I wrote a new timetable out, and everything is so good. So really, if there's anything, I think today I also struggled for doing the approaches, but then I made myself do it. And I know too much now. I'm not in the Matrix anymore. I know you can do this shit, and you just need to do it, right? You need to fucking do it. You see the girl, you're looking at her, she's walking towards you, or she's walking over there. Now in your mind, what you're probably doing is you're thinking about all the reasons why you shouldn't go and talk to her, why you shouldn't approach her, why somebody might be watching and think you're weird, right? All these reasons. What you're not doing potentially is thinking about that you have basically the most complicated device that mankind we know of in the known universe. And if you just target it, you just move it a couple of degrees, and you're actually pointing towards her. And now the focus of your brain machine is to just solve the problem of, how do I walk up to this girl and talk to her, right? And that's really it's a no-brainer. Like, you just walk up to her, say hello, what's up? You just fucking do it. And you focus on that. You could focus also on the process, which is, maybe you have a certain number you do. You have a certain way you do it, which is a certain integrity behind how you do it. you just focus on doing that, and the reaction, or glances from anybody else in the vicinity, that doesn't really actually equate in your summation of what happened. Obviously, you want to have flexibility in how you look at it and actually learn from feedback too. But overall, when you're doing it, you're focused on the process. You're focused on doing it, and that's really what it comes down to. If you do that 3 times a day, you can't help but learn a lot. I think you can probably become a fucking idiot too. That's the controversial. That's the sort of grey area there. You could become a fucking idiot, where you become like a really good fucking machine, good at doing odd weird stuff, because you're not looking at yourself objectively. So, that's a slight danger. How would you not do that? Well, you'd have to probably look at, are the girls running away every time? Am I never getting numbers? Right? Am I just never getting any fucking numbers? If that's the case, you need to probably start watching videos. You need to start finding mentors and wings and pairs and people to kind of get feedback from. If you are getting numbers and you're getting things going, then keep going out with mentors, keep watching videos and all that kind of stuff. But really, I'm reading a book called The Talent Code by a guy called Daniel Coyle, and it really comes down to the sort of central tenet that practice really does make quote unquote perfect. If you don't practice, nothing's gonna happen for you. You can practice in a smart way too, right? Practicing in a smart way would be ideal, but also full stop. If you do the action, you get the impulse shooting through your brain, which gets kind of wired into your brain, and you learn how to do it for future reference. And that's really it. Didn't want to do it, made myself do it. This is a long one. It's really just kind of based on mentality and sort of like shifting your paradigm, looking at it as if I'm not disempowered. I'm not unempowered, rather. Maybe it's disempowered. I can do whatever I want to do. I've decided on this purpose, and here's what I'm going to do. Get that into your mind. That's how you live your life. Realizing you're going to die soon. It's going to be over. So just fucking do what you want to do. Do what the fuck you want to do. And don't use excuses. Find solutions. Use your brain not to find excuses. Because you know what? If you find excuses, then well done. Great. You've become, mediocre for another day longer than you had to otherwise. Round of applause. If, however, you decide, no, you're gonna aspire for greatness, then here's another round of applause for you, because now you're on your way to something better. You're gonna learn some shit, because when you're going through discomfort, that's where you learn a lot of stuff. That's where you find out what you're made of. That's where you wire in character. And that's really all I got to say for now. Signing out. Take it easy. Peace.